Hey folks, it's Miss Solomon here, and we've reached book 22, a dramatic and heartbreaking chapter, indeed, of our journey through the Iliad. This is the showdown that we've been waiting for this whole time. Achilles versus Hector. Achilles has chosen a short life in pursuit of Cleos, and we've been able to see that over the last couple of books. And Cleos in English from the Greek translates to the eternal glory that they would receive from all of their bravery and their actions in war or otherwise. And Hector is going to fight for his Cleos in this book, too. Just like he tends to do, Homer is going to slow the pace and make us linger in the suspense and show us the human side of war all the while. So let's get to it. The book starts, book 22, in late summer, which is the hottest time of the year. You'll see that in a footnote at the very beginning of book 22, with Hector standing before the Scaean gate outside of Troy, and he's wearing Patroclus's armor, which is his kind of prize for winning that battle on the battlefield against Patroclus. On page 260, Hector and his parents, well, his parents, of course, Priam and Hecuba, they're going to plead for him to come inside to seek safety. But of course, Hector, the model of duty, he refuses. He feels shame at the thought of retreating after urging his men to fight. This is really the core of Hector's character at the opening of this book. His sense of responsibility, his honor, his duty, all of it, convalesced from what we've seen into this moment. He chooses to face Achilles, even though he knows the odds are against him, which kind of sets us up for a little bit of heartbreak at the very beginning, and that suspense and that top feeling in our chest. I know I feel it. Though it may seem like Hector is reckless, in this first part of the book, he's actually pretty torn. He weighs the options, considers the surrender. He thinks of negotiation, but in the end, he decides to meet fate head on. This moment captures his tragic dignity overall, because he chooses to stand not because he believes he'll win, but because he believes it's the honorable path. And so we don't get the duel at the top. Homer's going to make us wait a little bit. These two soldiers, Hector first with Achilles to follow, they just play Ring Around the Rosie around the walls of Troy for like ever, for a long time. And so this chase is symbolic, is as much as it is thrilling, I think. Hector represents the city, his family, and his future, kind of running for survival. And then Achilles represents this unstoppable rage and fate. So take that for what you will, and the rest of our reading and your understanding of both characters. The circular motion kind of echoes that inevitability too of this kind of seemingly futile series of events that we've experienced in the Iliad. It seems like there's no escape from the setup that they've created and that has been created for them in this narrative. So Homer is going to stretch this as long as he can, and it makes us feel that suspense and the futility. Then on the top, or excuse me, the bottom of page 263 in your book, you turn to page 263, we're going to hear Zeus speak up in the midst of this chase. So we're on page 263, around line 224, and here's Zeus himself. He says, "This is appalling. Look, I see a man I love chased round the wall. A pity, I pity Hector in my heart. He burned numerous cattle thighs as offerings to me upon the peaks and glens of Ida, and also in the citadel of Troy. Now glorious Achilles chases him on quick feet all around the town of Priam. Come now, gods, consider and decide whether to save this man from death or crush him. A fine man though he is, beneath the hands of great Achilles, son of Peleus." And so Zeus is kind of fed up with this. I think the way that that even we are, whenever we're reading it, and it's him speaking up is the beginning of this next initiation. So Zeus is going to invite Athena to intervene. So Athena is going to set out to deceive Hector as Achilles chases after him. There's some beautiful translation going on here about this particular deception on page 265. You'll turn there in your book, and it's going to start at line 289 with the at last. Okay, at last. Splendid Achilles, favorite of Zeus, I trust the two of us will bring great glory back to the ships and honor for the Greeks. The two of us will slaughter Hector now, although he is insatiable for battle. And then if you skip down a little bit to around line 299, and that's what Athena spoke. She's kind of ready to go. And it says, so spoke Athena, and Achilles listened, delighted in his heart. He stopped and leaned against his bronze-tipped spear of ash. She left him, took on the body and the tireless voice of great, and this is going to be one of Hector's brothers, Deiphobus, I think is how you say his name. Deiphobus. I've never heard it out loud. And went to Hector and stood beside him and spoke words on wings. So this is Athena, disguised as Hector's brother, speaking to Hector to trick him. And he says, he says, dear brother, you are certainly hard pressed by swift Achilles. He is chasing you on such quick feet around the town of Priam. But come on, let us stand together here and wait for him and ward him off together. And mighty Hector in his flashing helmet replied, you always were the brother that I love the most by far of all the sons of Hecuba and Priam, and now your worth to me is even higher because you dared to come outside the wall when you saw me out there, although the others are still inside. So this is going to offer Hector this false sense of security, which is going to bite him a little bit later. And then Athena posing as the brother still a little bit down. He's going to say, dear brother, certainly our parents begged me to stay. Our noble mother and our father took turns imploring, as did our comrades. All of them were so terribly afraid, but my heart deep inside my chest was feeling too much anxiety for you. So let us together rush to battle, spare no spear, so that we can discover if Achilles will kill us and strip off our bloodstained armor and take it to the hollow ships with him, or if your spear may conquer him. So, believing that he has help, Hector stops and turns to face Achilles. The cruel irony of all of this is that Hector believes that he's not alone, but he's kind of been tricked and he just doesn't have any idea. And the dramatic irony of that adds to the tragedy of what's about to happen. The gods, even more so about the tragedy of all, the gods have aligned against him. So we know what happens in the Iliad when that is the reality. And so now we're going to move more into the duel itself. If you turn to page 266, Hector is going to be the one to speak first. And it starts around 339, line 339 on page 266. He says, I may kill you or be killed. Let us invoke the gods. They are the best as witnesses and guardians of contracts. I shall not mutilate you or disgrace you if Zeus grants me the stamina to take your life away, Achilles. I will strip your famous armor, but I will give back your body to the Greeks. You do the same. This is an honorable proposition that we know Hector to be capable of, that's going to layer with some later events. And as you can imagine, on that same page, Achilles is going to respond with intense rage. He's ready for bloodshed, and he rejects Hector's proposal about this peaceful treatment of either slain body. So in either case, especially where Achilles is concerned, he's like, no, we're honor code out. we're not going to do that. At least Achilles is not. And then the fight begins. It's pretty swift and brutal, starting on page, let's see, I think it's there still on that same page, 266. It's going to go through the bottom and the next little bit of the page, and we'll just kind of walk through it together. Let's start on line 374. Let's do that. This is Hector speaking as I've, started the battle. It says, "You missed, godlike Achilles. You knew nothing from Zeus about my destiny or death, although you thought you knew it all. You were just speechifying, fitting words together, and all this cleverness was meant to scare me. So I would lose my courage and my strength. I will not turn and run away from you. You will not fix your weapon in my back, drive it straight through my chest as I attack you if some god grants the victory to you. Now try to get me away from my bronze spear. I hope you offer it a gentle welcome and let its whole length rest inside your flesh." Pretty serious stuff. The war will lie more lightly on the Trojans after your death. You were our greatest curse. It's delicious. And so they continue to fight a little bit. Hector calls for his brother to help him, but of course his brother's not there. And Hector realizes it, like deep in his heart. And he says, starting at line 400 on page 267, "The gods have called me to my death." It's like he realizes it. "Athena has tricked me. The horror of my death is near me now, not distant anymore, and no way out. Zeus and the son of Zeus, the long-range archer, must have decided all this long ago." Yes and no. Bless his heart. "The gods who used to be so kind to me, who helped me in the past, and now my doom has come at last. But never let me die without a struggle and without a claim. Let me achieve some greatness." And then he's talking about this Cleos, right? The glory, and be known to people in the days to come. And so with this, um, Hector's brave, and then Achilles rushes toward him. And if you turn the page to 268, you're kind of going to see uh, Achilles makes the blow. And then Hector falls down on the dust, and the great Achilles gloated above him. So he's gonna, Hector's down, and Achilles got him, and he's gonna stand over him and gloat a little bit. Here on page 268, starting at line 445, it says, "Hector, I suppose after you killed Patroclus, you imagined you were safe. You paid no heed to me because you knew that I was far away. Fool. I am still his helper and avenger, better than him by far, although he left me beside the hollow ships. I am the one who caused your death and made your limbs unravel. The dogs and birds will mutilate you and shame you. Patroclus will be buried by the Greeks with all due funeral honors." And that covertly means, like, the person that Hector killed, Patroclus, is going to get all of the honor. But Achilles is not going to give the same to Hector. And so moving on, faint and feeble, Hector, his helmet flashing bright, replied, "I beg you, by your life, your knees, your parents, do not let dogs devour me by your ships. Accept the bronze and the gold, the lavish gifts my father and noble mother give you, and give my body back. Let me go home, so that the Trojan men and Trojan wives can grant me my due death, a funeral pyre." And Achilles calls him a dog, and he's like, "Don't talk to me of knees or parents. If I had will and heart to do it somehow, I would carve up your flesh and eat it raw for the abominations you have done me." So this rage has made him just purely animalistic at this stage. "No one can save you from dogs, not even if they weigh out and bring me a ransom 10 times or 20 times the usual rate and promise even more." That's going to change. Not even if Priam told me to weigh you and offered to provide weight in gold. Not even so will your own mother ever lay you out properly upon a bier and mourn and grieve for you the child she birthed. The dogs and birds will eat you every scrap. And so, just as we saw with the Hector and Patroclus fight, at their dying breath, they usually tend to prophesy the death of the person that has killed them. And then that's going to be Hector's prophecy starting at 479, line 479 on page 269. He says, I see you and I understand you. There is no way for me to change your mind. The heart inside your chest is made of iron, but watch out, or I may become for you the cause of wrath from gods one future day when Paris and Apollo will destroy you beside the skiing gates, strong though you are. And his death wrapped around him as he spoke. His spirit flew from his limbs to Hades, and she mourned his fate and left his manhood and his youth. Achilles spoke to him, though he was dead. And so above his body, Achilles' dead body, Achilles like, so die. And I will welcome my own death whenever Zeus and the other deathless gods decide to end my life. And the rest of this page is going to be really just more displays of Achilles' performative rage. And then we deal with the aftermath, with Hector being dead and Achilles' performative rage. So on page 270, if you'll hold your stomachs through this next part, we see what Achilles does with Hector's body instead of honoring Hector's wishes. On page 270, around line 225, or excuse me, 526, we've got this display of what's done to Hector, and it's just so tragic. So spoke Achilles, and then he committed shameful atrocities on noble Hector. He pierced behind the tendons of both feet from heel and ankle, threaded leather straps, and bound him to his chariot, meaning Achilles' chariot, and let his head loll backward. And Achilles mounted, bringing the famous armor. With the whip, he made the horses go. With no reluctance, they flew. A cloud of dust rose up around Hector as he dragged along, his dark hair flowing, with his whole face, which used to be so handsome, down in the dust. On that day, Zeus allowed his enemies to mutilate and shame him, meaning Hector, in his own fatherland. Hector's head was caked with dust all over. Then his mother flung off her shining headdress, ripped her hair, and keened in anguish when she saw her son. So Achilles is doing this in front of the gods and everybody, even for Hector's mom to see, and his father, who gave an agonizing groan. Around them, all the people in the city began to keen and groan. It was as if the whole of dark-browed Troy